of 2012, the Mega Millions lottery was approaching a potential jackpot of $500 million. Though the chances of winning were 1 in 175 million, Americans flocked out to buy lottery tickets. According to some reports, in 48 hours, Americans spent $1.5 billion on lottery tickets. Eventually, 3 individuals would end up splitting that jackpot. There's one man in California who spent $1,080 on lottery tickets, and one no. In difficult economic times, what drives us to go out and throw our money away, to get in a line to throw our money away. These 3 people won, but there's over 100 million people that lost. Just throwing it away. So I think, man, can you imagine what good could have been done with $1.5 billion? If that was given to charities and churches and to people working in missions, can you imagine what could be done with $1.5 billion? That's a lot of money. Do you guys realize? So you've got $100. You take 10 of those, and you got $1,000. You get $100,000. Take 10 of those, you got $1 million. Take 1,000 of those, and you got $1 billion. It's a big number, and we threw it away. To someone like me who doesn't go out and buy lottery tickets, it seems like the ultimate example of having our priorities in the wrong place. Like, how much more could that be us having priorities totally screwed up? But before I get too self-righteous, I think that this morning I should ask myself the question, are my priorities all in the right place? It's easy for me to look at something like a lottery and people throwing away money and say, hey, they have their priorities in the wrong spot. But what are some areas in my life where maybe my priorities aren't quite in the right place? Today, we're going to look at the Gospel of Luke in chapter 10, and we're going to read about 2 women and their priorities, things that they prioritize. If you guys have a Bible, a smartphone, something that has scripture in it, and you want to flip to the Gospel of Luke chapter 10, we're going to pick up in 38 through 42. I'm sorry, I have a sore throat. It bugs me when people stand up to speak and drink all the time. But this morning, I'm going to have to be that person. My priorities are to be able to speak. Luke 10:38. As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, they came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me. Martha, Martha, the Lord answered, you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed. Indeed, only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her. Guys, can I have my mic turned down just a little bit? I like it really loud, but right now I'm having problems. This is quite possibly my least favorite story in Scripture. This story has always bugged me. I sit and I read this story of Mary and Martha. Their brother is Lazarus. They come up in Scripture a few times. You may know Lazarus, the man that Jesus raised from the dead. This is his sisters. And this story has bugged me. Because I look at it and I read this story and I feel like, Jesus, some of this stuff has to get done. Does Jesus not understand that somebody has to prepare the meal? There's not a Taco John's to go run and pick up a few burritos. They can't call Pizza Hut and say, hey, bring by a large pepperoni. Somebody's got to prepare the meal. You can't just all sit around and be super Christians. Somebody has to do some real work around here. So as I read this story, it bugs me, and I feel like I need to sit down and talk to Jesus about how, somebody's got to mow the yard. If nobody changes the light bulbs, Jesus, it's going to get dark. Somebody has to get communion ready. Somebody has to work in the nursery. Somebody has to shovel the snow. Somebody has to take out the garbage. What happens if no one helps with VBS? The kids aren't just going to teach themselves to jam downstairs. I feel like, Jesus, do you understand that some of these things have to get done? We have to be ready. I'm really busy, Jesus. There's people who have expectations on me, Jesus. I need to get those met. I'm really busy at work right now, Jesus. So I just need to get this taken care of. Got a lot going on that needs to get done. I feel this way when I read this scripture. This is why it bugs me. Because I read this and I can connect with what Martha is thinking. I can understand where she's coming from. I can relate to that idea that this stuff has to get done. Somebody has to do it. Mary's not doing anything. She's just sitting there. And I can relate to that. And that's, I think, why it bugs me. Let's look at the passage again. It starts off by saying that Jesus and his disciples were on their way. Where are they on their way to? In the end of the last chapter, in the end of chapter 9, it says that Jesus set his mind, set his direction, that I'm going to Jerusalem. He's on his way to the cross. That's what he's doing here. He's on his way. This is his travelogue as we look at the Gospel of Luke in chapter 10 and as follows. So he's on his way. As Jesus was on his way, in verse 39, as Jesus was on his way, Jesus and his disciples were on the way, they came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. They're traveling, and this generous woman who loves Jesus opens up her house. Sometimes I think we get this story wrong and we say, well, Martha must not have loved Jesus. I don't think that's the case at all. Martha loved Jesus, and she offered her home. She said, come on in. We get the indication that she's maybe the oldest of these three siblings. I think she probably wants to be at Jesus' side, but she's distracted. Verse 39. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to what he said. Here we see this sister of Mary, kind of get the indication maybe she's the youngest of these three siblings. She sits at Jesus' feet to hear him teach. It's not that she doesn't want to help her sister, but this is where she thinks she wants to be. Even though sitting at the feet of Jesus while he teaches is the place of the disciples, not the place of some woman whose house you're staying at. Her priority is Jesus at the time that they have left with him and hearing what he's going to say. I don't want to make out that one or other of these sisters is a bad guy or that they are not individuals who love Jesus, but they see the world a little different. Their priorities aren't the same. Mary has said her priorities are going to be sitting at the feet of Jesus, even if it means she makes her sister mad, even if it means that she's outside of the cultural expectations of her. She's going to make that happen. She's going to make that time with Jesus happen. Because that's what her priorities are. We get to verse 40. Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had been made. She came to him and asked, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to work by myself? Tell her to help me. It seems to me that Martha's problem, she's distracted. She wants everything to be perfect for Jesus. Like I said, she loves Jesus, but she wants everything to be perfect, and she gets distracted by the details. This can so be how I go through life. It's really easy for me to be distracted by the details, to be distracted by the checklist and the thing that needs to get done, instead of being where God needs me to be. How about you? You know, sometimes Sunday can be the most stressful day of our week. I come in, we gotta get this done, we have to get this done, we have to get this done. And we get distracted from God. Why do we come to this building? Why do we come and we sing songs? It's not so that we can get stressed out about what songs we're going to sing. It's not so that we can get stressed out about if we have donuts prepared. It's so that we can sit at the feet of God. And those are just things that we do that we have to let distract us. But sometimes it does. Sometimes I get distracted by making sure that this is right, and this is right, the bulletins are ready, and that I have my microphone on. I have to go back and get my microphone on because I forgot. Instead of being where God wants us to be, maybe there's somebody that's sitting in this room that you need to say hello to this morning, but you were distracted. Maybe God wanted to speak something to you in the songs that we sang this morning, but you were distracted by my kids. Maybe God wants to tell you something this morning, but you're distracted because I look funny, or there's a really cool baby sitting with you, or all kinds of little ones. It's so much fun. But are you distracted and missing what God has for you? That's where I have to be really careful. That's where I know I missed things because I was distracted from God's big picture for me by the little things that are are so important by the expectations put on us by the people around us that we allow to rule over our lives. As we move on, get to verse 41. I did 41. Verse 41. Martha, Martha, you were worried and upset about things. I love how Jesus says this. When he says this, Martha, Martha, it's this intimate, come closer and hear what I have to say. In Scripture, when somebody's name is used 2 times like this, it's so many times it's God saying, come here, come here. As Abraham, or as Abraham, before it, Moses is burning bush. God calls him twice. As Abraham is about to sacrifice Isaac, God calls him twice. In this, listen to what I have to say. Listen to what I have to say. And Jesus, he says to Martha, Martha, Martha. You are worried and upset about so many things. Are you worried and upset about things? Is that keeping you from what Jesus wants to teach you? As you go through your life, are there things that you are upset and worried about that are preventing you from hearing from God, from sitting at the feet of Jesus? Jesus rebukes her, but he does it in a gentle way. It's as if he's begging her to make the right choice. Verse 42. But only a few things are known, or indeed only one. And Mary has chosen what is better. It will not be taken. Jesus says, very few things are known, only one. Me. Lots of great things that we can do. There's lots of great things that we do as a church. There's lots of great things that you do in your life. But they might just need to be examined. Say, are they the best? Are they sitting at the feet of the Lord? As I told you, this is a convicting passage of Scripture for me. Because I get busy with things, the great things that need to be done, instead of sitting at the feet. Are my priorities Jesus? Or am I choosing him second over other things? Maybe I'm not the only person in the room who has to make some tough decisions. Maybe has to look at the priorities that we have in our lives. It's easy to look at other people and their decisions and say your priorities are all wrong. You see that? Oh, that's wrong. It's easy for me to do that. But sometimes I need to look at myself. I need to talk about a passage of Scripture that bugs me and ask, where are my priorities at? Am I able to set aside those things that I find so important, that I want to be perfect, to be where God needs me when I'm distracted, when I'm stressed, when I'm worried about things, it's because I'm behind schedule. I haven't planned it. I wasn't prepared for what God was doing. I wasn't prepared for Jesus to show up at my doorstep and say, "Here I am. Listen to what I have to say." Oh, I wasn't ready for that. I had to make supper. I had to clean the house. I wasn't prepared for you to show up, Jesus. So I have to ask myself, do I need to plan my life more in advance? Do I need to prioritize things in advance? Do I need to build in margins in my life so that when Jesus shows up, I'm ready? So many times when I get stressed out or when I get worried and I miss where God needs me at that moment, it's because I was flying by the seat of my pants. This is the world we live in. We're so busy trying to make everything perfect. We miss Jesus sitting in our living room trying to teach us. So, what are those areas in your life? What are those things? I'm not saying that they don't get done. Somebody had to prepare the meal. Somebody had to get the house ready, but maybe we need to have those things done so that when Jesus shows up, we're ready. When Jesus sits down in our living room, we've got things taken care of. We've got margins built in to our life so that we can sit there and sit at the feet of our Lord and hear from Him. When Jesus shows up, we're ready. I'm going to invite the band to come up. They're going to lead us in one last song. And as they do, as we sing this song, let's ask ourselves a few questions. Are you ready to sit at His feet today? Is it your priority to sit at His feet today? Are there other things you've got prioritized too high? Let's ask that question.